Hey, Power Athlete Nation. Welcome to another episode of the premier podcast in strength conditioning, Power Athlete Radio. I'm John Wellborn, CEO for Power Athlete, and I'm joined by Mr. Tex McQuilkin, Director of Training for Power Athlete.
Howdy, John.
Good to see you.
And
we
more.
have two special guests, our nutrition ninjas. We got Sam and Rob from Power Athlete Nutrition. They're going to come on and they're going to help us answer, decimate, destroy, and just eviscerate every question that you might have that's coming through the hotline. And just in case you've been living under a rock and hiding underneath the sea, Power Athlete has this cool thing called the Power Athlete Hotline where you can reach out, you can leave questions based on nutrition, training, old shitty trucks, cars, terrible movies, and maybe even philosophy, maybe even a Fast and Furious 9 recommendation. But you can reach that hotline at 929-464-464.
0.
929-ING-ING.
0.
Yeah, real easy to find us. So all I need you to do, pick up the phone.
Start dialing.
It's
Wolf on Wall Street.
I like the voice ones more than the text messages, and I don't always get the smoke signals. So Rob and Sam, thanks for joining us today.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
All right, Tex. Well, let's fire up one of those questions we got from the hotline and see where it takes us.
All right. Ready.
Hey guys, so I'm a Grindstone user, former Field Strong, Jack Street, been using programs on and off for a long time. I've got a question around nutrition, or more broadly related to the smelling like ammonia from workouts. So this is something I noticed when I train in a fasted state, typically with like a cardio component. It's very clearly ammonia. Research tells me that typically burning of amino acids, and conversion of protein, usage of protein to fuel. Now, the question which I cannot get an answer from Dr. Google is whether that's actually a bad thing or not. So the question is, there's obviously concern if you're using protein, is it actually muscle wastage? Seems unlikely that you'd be able to your body be able to break down muscles into protein, into energy that quickly, but obviously, have some concern. Currently on a leaning protocol, following it pretty well. I've always liked working out in the morning in a fasted state. I'm not hungry. Food makes me a little sick unless I get up super early and do before the workout, or don't like coffee, etc. My question really is do I have anything to worry about? And if I don't have anything to worry about, with that, then can I continue training at fasted state, or should I suck it up, eat something a little bit, or get up a little bit earlier, eat something, and then hit the workout? Thanks, appreciate it.
I'll defer.
All right, a lot to unpack here.
There is a lot to unpack.
Ammonia during training. He doesn't like food before.
Well, he said, is it bad? I think the only thing it's bad for is your T-shirt collection. Because if you're wearing a T-shirt, and those of us that have had this happen periodically, I'll just go smell a T-shirt and it goes right in the trash. And that's what happens, especially. And I played with a lot of dudes who, when they trained, smelled like ammonia to the point where it was almost like ammonia caps to be around. And I played with other guys that never had that issue.
My only experience with this was I did a Go Ruck Challenge, July 4th, 2012, maybe. 16 hours in freaking Washington, D.C. It was hot as all balls. And you basically, you're wringing your clothes out when we would take breaks and stuff. And then I had heard about it, and then it was okay, I know exactly what the hell what's going on. This is ammonia.
Yeah.
So that was my only experience. I've never trained that hard or done that
ever
much
again.
work ever again. But that was it for me.
So what do you guys think? I mean, this is a very real, chemical reaction. So what do you guys got?
Well, I think it's just kind of a natural thing. I mean, like your point of, is it bad? It's, like you said, it's probably the worst for T-shirts for sure. Because then you wash them and then you wear them again, and then it kind of comes back out. But I think, I think it's really just the process. I think he had it in his statement. He said something about, how did he phrase it? The fact that he couldn't kind of wrap his head around the fact that protein could break down that fast. But, I think people have to kind of realize that our bodies are just energy factories, and we're going to keep doing energy building things and we're always looking for energy. And that doesn't mean that you're never going to start breaking down muscle, which is really what's happening, is it's breaking down into the amino acids, and that's what that ammonia smell is. And that doing it fast is probably going to make it happen a little bit faster, but it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing, I think.
Yeah, and that could also, I think, didn't he say he was on the leaning protocol?
Yeah.
So he's getting enough protein. So that's not a concern that he's, not getting enough protein in his diet, because that's set up at like 1 gram ish per pound of body weight when you buy the template. And so he's getting enough protein. And if he wasn't, that would be a different conversation. But since we kind of know a little bit into his diet, he is. Also could be a hydration factor. Kind of a funny anecdote is like cats. So cats tend to not drink a lot of water, and they have very high protein diets. And so you can immediately smell cat urine. I don't have cats, but if you go to a house that has them and it's on the rug, cat smell.
Sure.
So.
Well, the other one too is like what else is in his diet? Is he eating a lot of asparagus? I would also look at like some micronutrients, like if he was B vitamins. So, I mean, there's a bunch of different key factors involved in this. Another one could be, and I know it sounds funny, just a little basic hygiene. I know that the guys that didn't shower as often tended to smell more like ammonia than the guys that didn't. So I knew guys that didn't shower, like on double days, didn't shower after practice. And I could I could walk out and be like, I know this dude doesn't shower. So, I mean, it's just, maybe it could be some hygiene issue, body odor, body hair. I mean, there's always just maybe some cleanliness things, maybe change your shampoo. I mean, those are just easy fixes. But it also could be, like if he's leaning protocol, if he's in a ketogenic diet, I mean, that could also be another one. I mean, I can smell people's breath when I know they're on ketogenesis or they're in ketosis, just like DMSO. So DMSO is a old kind of remedy to, that is like a transdermal pulsing through the skin and actually gets rid of swelling. So they use it on racehorses, and I used to use it on my knee to try to get swelling off my knee. And it gives you almost like a sour milk taste, to the point where, like, if somebody was on DMSO and I haven't smelled it in years, I could smell it instantly on their breath. So.
Well, his area code is 917, which is like New York proper, Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan. So I don't know if he's actually there or that's just where he's from, but that's the area code.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, New York, it's pretty hot. I mean, in the summer.
I'd also ask him, is this something that just happens in the summer, or is it also happening in the winter? If it's cold out and you're still having some of those issues. So I think I will vote that it is not unhealthy. And the only bad thing is having to throw away T-shirts. So, which is good, because if you go to shop.powerathletehq.com, we have a ton of merch for you to buy. So throw away all your old T-shirts, buy a whole bunch of new ones, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, or some tank tops, right? Like the new 4th of July tank top, but those are already sold out.
Are they all sold out?
I think so. I think there were like 5 larges. I don't know. I saw an Instagram post and they were almost gone.
Other than the double X's, but Nate's wearing all those.
Oh, sounds about right. I mean, is there anything wrong with using protein as an energy source? We're familiar with McArdle's disease.
Are you talking about like a gluconeogenesis, like converting?
I mean, so say this gentleman is asking this bottom line, is this a concern? Well, what about other people that are into ketosis? And then we did plenty of research back in the lactic acid days. I know it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I know. But then the McArdle's disease, people are not allowed to use, or not allowed, unable to use carbohydrates as an energy source.
Well, no, their body doesn't produce lactate.
But they can't use carbs.
So their body has to convert. So, I mean, that was, I think studying that was what allowed us to really understand that lactate wasn't necessarily a byproduct, it was actually a fuel.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there was no lactate threshold testing for people with McArdle's disease.
Well, they suffered hard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I don't see a problem with it, but I think it's some more genetic stuff. I mean, because I've trained with people that just smelled awful, and I've trained with guys that didn't.
Despite showers?
Well, The other one too is I always wondered if it was a diet thing or a hydration thing. And Sam brought up a great point. Was it the guys that were drinking way more alcohol, and we're naturally or we're dehydrated more often, tended to smell more like ammonia, because we know it's a byproduct. So
yeah, so he should definitely be looking at the color of his pee when he's going to the bathroom, and that could be a really easy fix because you just drink more water.
Not only more water, but
electrolytes.
You can get electrolytes and salt in there.
Do you have a suggestion?
I do. I'm a big fan of Element.
LMNT?
No, it's just Element.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not. I think it's Element, and I know that because I actually made a joke to Nikki and Rob about LMNT, and they were like, "It's Element." I'm like, "I know, but it's funny."
I know. That's why.
I know.
I think it's funny.
I know why you though it's funny. So yeah, we use a ton of the Element stuff, which is the salt packs. If you guys aren't familiar with them, that Rob Wolf and them designed.
Yeah, a big thing, especially in Austin. University of Texas coach Tom Herman, no longer with the team, but he had this champion hydration levels. So at all the urinals in UT's locker rooms, he'd have these different shades of yellow that represented your hydration level in urine to help identify and make aware that his teammates or his players, needed more hydration if it's this. And then it was like clear piss equals championship piss. It's something weird.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, dude. And then
so
the
creepy.
Austin Simply Fit, they had the same thing up in their bathroom. Yeah. So, it worked, I guess. We didn't hear about any negative stories of kids.
Well, how did UT do? Did they win a national championship?
Well, there's the national championship, and there's different champions each game. Like, I'm sure they gave away the game ball when they beat University of Kansas. Oh, they did lose to them. But, just creating a culture of awareness around hydration is an important thing, especially in Austin, come August training camp time.
That's true. That is very true.
So in New York City, summertime, hydration level is very important.
Cool. Anything else?
Yeah. I do at least a gallon a day for my water.
Yeah, but you're breastfeeding.
Yeah, but even when I'm not.
Really?
Which I guess hasn't been the past 3 years. I don't know. I've been pregnant or breastfeeding.
Well, I know that there's a water volume is directly tied to like volume for breast milk, and like all of a sudden that was like one of the ways, like when the moms stop breastfeeding, they like have them cut their water back and like instantly, But it's pretty interesting. I think like the minute the baby's done, the mom stops producing. The bodies are so smart.
Yeah, it really is crazy. Just how the body can like wean off, and it knows, right? Like just how right after you have the baby, you start producing. Our bodies are a lot smarter than we give them credit for because we keep trying to like hack everything.
Well, kind of like this guy exercising, worrying about ammonia.
Yeah.
Like it's a byproduct, you'll be fine. Yeah. So, cool.
Yeah, as long as he's getting plenty of protein, he should be fine.
Yeah, but like he said, if he's on the leading protocol, he's eating a high protein diet. We don't necessarily have any protocol that doesn't promote a high protein diet. We just haven't seen a benefit from having a low protein diet.
No one has.
No, nobody. Like especially people, unless you want to be frail and weak and not be able to fight your way out of a paper bag.
Why are you looking at me when you said that?
Because I'm a little nervous. You're eating a low protein diet. You're probably just over there eating liver again.
I'm off the live. You gave me a whole bucket of pea protein, so it's going good use.
Oh man, I can't.
It is flavorless and disgusting. No wonder you ate it when you were sick.
So Dr. Tom was like, when I got all my food testing, was like, I want you to use pea protein as a supplement. And so I got this pea protein, and like some of them were really awful tasting, and I basically found this one that didn't have any flavor, so I would just have to smash it. The only problem is pea protein is like dropping a nuclear bomb on my stomach, to the point where like I would take it and like be like, okay, I'm going to work out, and I'd be like, nope, not going to work out. Like it was absolutely destroyed me. So I just had it sitting around, and I was like, oh, let me give this a Tex.
No problem.
Because I know you love pea protein.
I wouldn't say love. I'm just defaulting there. The ways I'm getting older. Just one of those things.
I found a beef isolate protein that we've been taking. That what I'll do is I basically make a shake in the morning, and I'll take it, and then I make another one. I put it in the freezer, and then at night I eat it like almost like a ice cream or a sundae. Because like after I ate dinner, like we were watching the Olympics last night, and I would rather eat that than smash a bag of pork rinds.
You would not.
I know. Dude, my son was like, Dad, you want any pork rinds? I'm like, oh, God damn it, I love you. Go get those pork rinds. And then he brought out like a little bowl, and I poured him a bowl. He handed me the bag, and then like he finished the bowl, and he like looked at the bag, and he was like, where did they all go? I'm like, damn it. I ate them. But if you guys don't know, Epic came out with this whole line of baked pork rinds.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude. They have them in like sea salt, like salt and pepper.
Yep.
Like they are so good. Like, and then they were
chili lime.
And then they were at Whole Foods. They were like 2 bags for like $5.50. I was like, oh, we're gonna need 12 of these. And
yeah,
so
that's a good deal.
Yeah.
Have you tried the wild chicken chips?
Yes, we have tried the wild chicken chips.
Where would I acquire these?
They're at Whole Foods.
Okay.
We have them at our like Lowe's grocery store, which is not a fancy grocery store.
Yeah, no, I got them for the kids, and so what's funny is we'll like, hey, well, let's get these for the kids, and if the kids don't eat it, I just smash it.
Yeah.
And Kate's like, hey, the kids don't want this, and I'm like, just so like in our pantry, there's like the kids shelf, and then there's like a plastic box of all the stuff they don't want, which is Dad's shelf. And I'll be like, I'll like see it in there, and I'll like it'll be in my box. I'll be like, yes, I'm gonna eat all these.
So is it like chicken? It's like pork rinds, but chicken.
Yeah, it's made. I think it's made from chicken and skin. It's they're actually not bad. They're actually really good with salsa.
Yeah. It's a dehydrated chicken, but like thin, like a potato chip.
Yeah,
I'm in.
Yeah, we I think probably ate about 4 bags on the way to Summer Strong, and it's only like a 2-hour drive.
It sounds like us when we were driving back. We stopped at Whole Foods, and they had a deal on pork rinds. So I just bought like every variation of pork rind, and
everyone in the car did.
Yeah, everybody were like, okay, pork rinds, and just destroyed all these pork rinds. And I'm like, well, they don't have any carbs, so they're okay, right?
Got some gum after that too.
Isn't pork rinds kind of the traditional road trip food, especially in Texas?
I think pork rinds are just become another food group. So you got like your meat group, you got your bread group, you got your vegetable group, you got fruit group,
collagen,
and now you got your pork rind group.
Well, I think this dude needs more pork rinds. That's the problem. As a non-nutrition coach, eat some of that, dude.
So I also, for listening to it, he seems like a bit of an overthinker. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad he's following Grindstone. He's just plugged into the programs.
90-second voicemail. Yeah.
Bit of an overthinker.
That felt like forever.
Well, you know what? I was thinking, like, as a dude, you're probably not worried about it. His wife or significant other's like, dude, you stink, like, bad. And then he was like, what do you mean? And then, like, do you use deodorant? That's another one. It could be a deodorant thing. I know that there's certain deodorants that actually, like, smell awful. Or, like, when you sweat, whatever, they kind of have an opposite effect on that. Especially a lot of those hippy-dippy ones.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of targeted ads towards deodorant. I don't really pay attention.
So
So our body just soaks it up, these metals?
I don't know if it's conspiracy theory, but I did read a whole deal that they use a lot of aluminum in deodorants, and some of like the cheaper ones, actually, which are antiperspirant, actually block and then kind of clog stuff up, and actually you absorb some different toxic metals. And I don't know if that's bullshit. I haven't done any research on it, but it was good enough for me to try to go find like one of like the hippie ones.
But do the hippie
and they
ones...
don't fucking work for shit. That's why hippies stink. So I finally found one that worked pretty well, but there was a while there where I was like, and it was funny because my wife was like constantly buying them. I'm like, are you buying these because you think I stink? And she's like, I'm going to keep getting them until we find one that works.
Well, great job, Kate. Showing, not telling.
No, my wife's pretty smart on that stuff. Well, she's shorter than me. So like
she's
I probably
in
go
your
to
armpits?
She's pretty much at armpit height. So she's probably like, this fucking bastard. Whereas for me, I'm like, I can't smell anything. Boy, the top of your head smells great.
Well, when you smell yourself, it's bad. That's probably what this guy he triggered. Oh, I smell awful. I can't imagine when I smell like to other people.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you might not smell yourself, but if you go take off a shirt and like you throw it on the floor and you leave it there like wet for like 2 or 3 days, I'm just making an assumption.
I know you've seen this stuff in locker rooms. Those dudes are out there.
Dude, I've seen some nasty shit. like somebody will like leave something and you're like, class example, like the shaker bottle in the car in the sun. Don't open it. Just throw it right at trash. Like actually drive by and like throw it at somebody, and then they open it and then it bloms them.
What is not as bad as the shaker bottle, but still sucks, is pads, equipment gear. Because some of these summer kids, they open up their bag. So pack it in on a Tuesday game. Don't open it until the next Tuesday, and you catch a waft of that, and it's death. Well, it's not protein death, but it still sucks.
Well, the problem is that's mold. So the one thing you don't want to do is take something that's sweaty, put it in a closed, hot environment without circulation, and then it gets mold, and then you put that on, and that's actually absorbing mold into your body, which is not fucking good.
Probably worse than aluminum.
Yeah, there's like a...
Well, these kids don't wear deodorant either, so...
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, they're also young and resilient. Like this, probably like at 12 years old, you ain't got to worry about that stuff. Now, when you're 45, deodorant might get you.
You got other things to worry about.
You got other things. I think as you get older, the margin of error starts just getting smaller and smaller, and you're like, "Holy shit, man! If I'm not dialed in by the time I'm 45, like you remember as a kid, you'd be like, oh, just eat all this food and be like, oh, I'm totally fine. And then the next day you wouldn't eat. I mean, it's like as you get older, the margin of error just increases, or it just decreases, gets really tiny.
For all things hygiene.
Yeah. So, all right,
asked and answered.
Oh, I got you.
You did.
I knew exactly you were going to say asked and answered. It's not like we haven't done 500 of these podcasts.
It's not like we haven't done 500 of these podcasts.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us on another episode of Power Athlete Radio. I'm John. This is Tex, and we're joined, and we are saying goodbye to our good friends Sam and Rob. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
I'm a loaded freight train and I'm right on track. I'm smoking.